No, he's in a regular vehicle.
He can't.
No, that's a truck. Ain't no regular vehicle.
He's got his vest on.
You know what it is, honestly? That dude is so freaking tall. He makes every space look tiny because he's like
he does look like a big dude. You're right.
He's a big man.
Al, aren't you like 6'4"?
Yeah.
Who?
Al.
No,
Al.
I'm not tall.
Oh,
I'm
I thought you were
tall,
like
I'm
6'4".
No, I'm just really big.
Oh, how tall are
A
you?
lot of man meat.
Big boned.
I'm wider than I am tall. I think
No, that's
now
not
I'm
true.
5'8".
I got that problem.
I used to be a little taller before I started bending up my spine and doing weird shit to my body over time. I think I've got 3 or 4 compressed discs in my back, and it's curved in a bad way. So I'm a little shorter than I used to be. But I'm I used to be a 400-pound man, and now I'm in the 330s.
I've lost
You're
60
still a big
Yeah,
guy.
For you, buddy.
I'm built like a brick shithouse, I believe, is one of the terms we might use.
You really are, yeah. I don't
Like,
know. Maybe it's always the angle of the camera, and it because
No,
it's
but if you
looking
like,
up, it makes
I'll
you
put myself
taller.
back on camera here. Like, I don't
Holy
know.
shit, you are just giant.
I didn't know they made them that big in Canada.
Well,
Are you
I show
a
people
farm
my
boy?
forearm. I mean, I'm not saying I never jerk off or anything, but like,
Jesus Christ, Al, look at the muscle on that.
What happened?
He's
Well,
just fucking damn. Look
yeah,
at the
but I don't-
arms on
I
that.
don't
You're a
use this one.
beefcake.
That muscle.
Al, I don't want to hear about your forbidden fruit, buddy. If I wanted forbidden
All right,
fruit,
well,
I'd read
you leave
Genesis
your-
1.
I went out with a girl.
I'm just
way
calling
back
you Big
when.
Al.
I went out with a girl
Some
way
people do
back
call
in the
me
day,
Big Al.
and her dad, he looked like Popeye. He was old school truck driver, you know,
Yeah.
and he ran a lot of it around in the city stuff. So he was whipping that wheel all day long, and his arms literally, you could have put anchors on each of them and put a pipe in his mouth.
Al,
Yeah,
Al's like that because he's a heavy hauler and he has to fucking
Yeah, I'm a
chain
heavy
down all
hauler.
that shit. And let me tell you,
That
I've
too,
chained
yeah.
Pulling the
down, I've
ropes
chained down
around
heavy
and shit.
equipment on flatbeds and stuff, and it'll wear you out. You know,
Yeah.
flipping all those
Yeah, and I
chains
use-
around and cranking them all down tight 10 times.
I use the
You got to keep going around
chain.
it.
Half-inch.
The half-inch chain. I'm not playing around. That's the lightest chain we use is the half-inch chain on this stuff.
I
But I-
swing a weed eater
That's
all
not
day.
small.
But if you wanna look at some of the
Yeah.
stuff I've moved today, I started
No.
out with a small machine. I had a mini hoe, a 320 wheeled excavator. Then I went and picked up a Tadano 750, and after I dropped that off, I moved the Cat 980.
Yeah.
And those.
Thank you,
not-
Native
not-
Atheist.
Jesus. Yep. Okay. Yeah.
Saying,
Yeah,
what's
yeah, yeah.
up, folks?
Hey, Native Atheist.
What's your longest
NA.
chain, Al? How long's your
The
longest chain, Al?
chain?
Pissing contest on the horizon.
20 feet on a half-inch chain, and then the
Uh-huh.
flatbed guys do haul they got long chains.
Yeah.
Earl drives the stick. Yeah, see, Earl's got to learn how to float the gear. Then her cows
I can
wouldn't be
do
quite
that.
as pretty. So,
Hey Al, I was telling my friend the other day how back when I was OTR, I came home one weekend and I had a little stick shift Isuzu. I got off somebody for free it was like a little Amigo, whatever they're called.
yeah, I remember those. They had those SUVs.
yeah.
They were pretty cool, actually. The Isuzu.
Yeah,
Amigo
yeah.
and
They went around corners on a
and the
dime, and
Trooper-
they
the
go
Trooper
anywhere.
too was great.
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
those.
So it was one of those little guys, but it was a stick shift and it had the 4-wheel drive in it and shit.
Yeah.
It was a great little thing. But anyways, I got it home off the truck and went to go somewhere and drove like 30 minutes and realized the whole time I was slip shifting my car.
Oh yeah. Well, you can.
I just got so
but,
used to doing it.
Yeah, but
And I didn't grind one gear.
Better to clutch. But
Yeah,
my boss
no, it's
taught
true.
me
but
how
I
to
didn't
do it in the
grind-
tow truck.
I didn't grind one gear the whole time I was doing it. Like I was dead. I had no clue
That's
I
good.
was
Yeah.
doing it.
We were out.
Yeah.
If you know how to
We're-
float, you're floating.
Yeah, we were out in the tow truck one day, and he said, "Here, I'll teach you how to do this." So we were out in the tow truck one day, and he was teaching me how to not shift without using the clutch.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can do it. In,
Oh,
you
that's what
can
I
do
do
it in
all the
almost
time,
every
yeah.
vehicle, but some vehicles you will fuck them up if they have a the wrong kind of transmission.
The tow truck didn't have an
I do not
RPM either.
suggest doing it.
What is
There wasn't no
Earl
gauge.
referring to itty bitty buns for?
Yeah.
Is that? Is she saying I got itty bitty buns because I float my my 18?
No, she's got itty bitty burgers, so she has to have itty bitty burgers buns.
Itty bitty buns. Okay. Yeah. You know what? I love those. Yeah, Ember. So you folks use gears.
Yeah, Ember, to stop and start.
You know what? With the both the Tadano and the 980, even though I didn't move the 980 very far, but I needed the 980 doesn't weigh that much. It was just big, but the Tadano I had to start out in low from every stop.
My boss at the shop was a race car driver, and I learned too the race car drivers don't use a clutch either. He said, "No, you don't use a clutch." He said, "You'll blow everything up."
No. Yeah, you don't have time to use the clutch in a race car.
Yeah, you got to know what you're doing. Period. That's the one talent that they do have. You have to know, how to bang those gears perfect, or you're trashing a very expensive, with a lot of investors piece of merchandise.
I could have been a
freaking
race car driver.
My automatic pickup truck.
Yeah, that's their big trick. I mean, anybody can turn left. It's banging those gears perfectly like that. Yeah.
Hey,
damn, I could have been a race car driver for sure.
Precise too.
Yeah.
Earl said they all have
race
paddle
car
shifters
drivers
now.
Not.
Yeah, paddle shifters are very, like, I can't remember if my wife's new car came with that. I think it did. The paddle shifters.
Elon's going to put y'all out of business anyways. He's
Real quick.
He's going to put himself out of business, shutting down all the
He's working hard at it, ain't he?
He's an idiot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what's
what's
an
the
electric
charging
battery that
station
can
for
take 170,000 pounds up the side of a mountain more than once?
Well, all his years of talking about...
Joe, what did Joe say?
I just wanted to say real quick, Thomas is streaming this on X and to his YouTube channel. So we've got a ton of new viewers here. Hi to everyone that's watching. If you like the channel, like and subscribe. That's it. That's all I wanted to get in there. I just wanted to say hi to everybody that's joining us from everywhere else.
Oh, cool.
Thanks for watching.
That explains why I get this itch going on. You said Twitter, right?
Yeah, right, exactly.
Twitter.
Yeah, so I shared it because it gave me the option, and so it's streaming to the Atheists for Liberty YouTube channel and the Atheists for Liberty X account. So hopefully some extra viewers come on in and contribute to the conversation and stuff like that. Speaking of helping the platform and helping to spread you guys around, the least I can do there.
Yeah.
Thanks, brother.
I'm
not all
streaming
of
this
us
to
are
atheist
truckers, but a
assholes,
bunch of us
just
are.
myself.
I think this is the most concurrent viewers this channel has had.
I'm not a trucker, but I drove a lot. I drove limo. I drove tow truck. I was a field service tech in the tri-state area. And any more these days, I just don't really want to drive anywhere.
Mind if I ask? I don't want to dox you. What state do you live in? And if not, you can just DM me privately. But I'm in
Ohio. I'm in Ohio, and that's why my other channel is the Grassman Chronicles, because in Ohio, Bigfoot is a grassman.
Yeah, gotcha.
Oh, I can change this now.
I guess I'm in a different tri-state area, but I love
There's
Ohio,
a lot of tri-states.
Yeah,
I used to do Ohio, Indiana, Michigan, and we would duck in with a lot of Chicago runs. And I never want to drive across Indiana again. I used to do it like once a week, and oh man, I never want to do that.
I've done that.
Me either,
I went
Dave.
to Michigan City. And how surprised was I that was in Indiana?
I'm an elder. I'm a newblet. What's a newblet?
I bet I went through Hell, Michigan.
It's like a baby.
I went through Hell, Michigan quite a few times.
Oh yeah. Hell's one of my favorite.
And it does freeze over. It does freeze over, by the way.
I bet it does.
Yes.
In Michigan.
Yes, it really does. It gets cold as fuck there.
Michigan's like Canada light.
Chicago gets cold. I was never so cold. The Windy City, yes. No matter where you are, there's a wind chill.
Let me tell you, buddy. Fuck Chicago. You know what gets cold as hell? Fargo, North Dakota. Fargo, North Dakota. In the wintertime, there's no corn or whatever else they grow up there and it's just flat, and the wind. I mean, I remember walking. I was in West Fargo at the pilot truck stop right there by the highway, and I remember walking from my truck across, and it just the whole place looked so gloomy. And it was like just this constant blowing wind of like 25, 30 miles an hour. That was the constant. The gusts were like 45, 50. And you're walking across there. You feel like you're out in the middle of the fucking Arctic. Like that's what it feels like. I've never felt that kind of raw, cold air like that in my life. Although one time in Ohio, it got down to negative 24. Dave probably remembers this. I think it was like back in 2000.
The year Cincinnati went to the Super Bowl, my buddy and I were going up to the corner store to get munchies to watch the game, and we thought we were going to freeze to death within 100 feet of our home trying to get some munchies to watch the game. So I remember that year was, our nose was freezing shut and everything. The wind chill was like 50 below or something. It was, whoo.
Yeah, negative 24 was the coldest I ever saw it in Ohio. But yeah, it felt like negative 50. And I was outside in that shit working, and I had all black coveralls, black everything on. I was triple layered, freezing my balls off. And the right side of me was all black from my clothes, and the left side of me, I was split right down the middle, was all white from the snow, and it was just stuck to me.
I'll tell you what's brutal was sideways. The years I drove the tow truck, we had the post office contract. So when it was 50 below out and all the Jeeps didn't start, guess who was out there at the crack of dawn getting them all started? This guy. I would hook him up, and it was just enough time to hook it up to the jump, hop back in the tow truck, thaw the toes back out enough so you could hop back out again, hit it with a little ether, start it up, and then move over to the next one and go right around the parking lot and get them all started. Man. I used to get the boss used to slip me a lot of cash for doing it, so I made some money doing it. But oh man, that was brutal. That was the worst I ever. That and doing cable when you're up on a pole. Oh yeah, it's cold up there too, buddy. Give your cable guy a break.
Yeah, that's
one of the hardest jobs I ever had. One of the hardest jobs I ever had was doing cable, lugging those ladders all day and climbing up down. Telephone poles and all that. It's like being a mountain climber or something, man. It's hard. I every day I came home and took a nap in my chair before I even ate dinner or anything. It was just exhausting work.
Not to grab the steering wheel and drive this truck in a ditch, but Tom, you mentioned you attend some conventions and stuff. What have you been to recently?
So recently, one of the things that we've been trying to do, I'll just state a success of the atheist community. They've gone to events like Netroots Nation. They've tried to normalize atheism very much in like progressive communities and things like that. Where we've been lacking is going to all these other political conventions, because some people are like, let's just do my version of politics instead. So we go to like Freedom Fest every year. It's a big like free speech kind of like libertarian leaning convention. Up until this year, we actually went to CPAC every year too, the Conservative Political Action Conference. And the amount of atheist politics that I find there is just overwhelming. And it's something that like other people from the atheist community go like, wow, what the heck? But
I think that would be entertaining.
A lot of support there too. So we go to CPAC, except this year because CPAC has kind of been on the decline. Freedom Fest. We go to LibertyCon. We were just at an event that was happening over the weekend where Richard Dawkins and Ayan Hirsi Ali debated, called Dissident Dialogues. It's a free speech conference organized by Winston Marshall. So like a lot of atheists were there, like Colin Wright, who's on our advisory board. Melissa Chen, a good ally of the organization, was there as well. So we definitely had a lot of fun. Steven Pinker, quite a few people. So wherever atheism isn't, the goal of Atheists for Liberty is to bring atheism there. That's kind of what we're trying to establish. We want to get atheism back in the limelight. If we have to be fiery, if we have to upset some people to do that, we're going to go ahead and do that. Because that's what we need.
I can do that. I can do that.
That's kind of my goal. Is like, I don't care to say the things that need to be said in my own Kentucky way, which is sometimes a little brutal. But you know, I love it. I think that's awesome. I'm glad I asked the question.
Yeah, that sounds very. That sounds very great. Yeah, it sounds very noble. So
I appreciate that.
And I think CPAC would be like, to me, that would be like a freak show. But I like that kind of thing, you know?
It kind of is, depending on like some of the people that walk around and like the props that are up at some of these places, you know. But it's always been a fun experience. We've always left CPAC gaining more members. A lot of people are like, you know, I'm an atheist, I'm an agnostic. I don't want this religious stuff shoved down my throat, or rather, like, I don't want there to be this religious litmus test in order for me to be at some event talking about taxation or free speech or, you know, something like that. And so we always want to be there. American Atheists actually used to be at CPAC. So, you know, we're trying to kind of pick up the mantle wherever the rest of what remains of that movement doesn't go to.
Like, my wife's an educator. To me, one of the things is like, can we keep the religion out of education, please? Just keep it out of it.
Yes.
Yeah,
there was so much stuff they didn't teach us at the grade school and junior high and high. Well, pretty much all the schools I was at, because I was either at a backwoods country school where they all believed in God, or I was at a Catholic school. So I was pretty much screwed either way. But they literally just didn't teach us a lot of stuff. Like, they didn't teach us crap about slavery. They acted like it was this quick passing phase and it's gone now. No, bro. That shit's not over. This crap is still horrible. But they did not tell us that because, according to the religious zealots, it's all fine. You know, so they didn't teach us a lot of stuff. And I grew up pretty fucking ignorant from that.
And with the politics, I mean, even people in the LGBTQ community have a better chance of getting elected than an atheist does. I mean, literally, I mean, it's people think it's a 4-letter word and stuff. So
there's states
there does need to be more exposure of, and not just being activists, but just like what we do, sit around and we're just regular folks.
This is everything.
We can sit around and talk, you know, and we talk about gardening and our kids and all kind of things, just like everybody else does. And we're not evil or nothing, you know, like that. Right.
Yeah.
And then to add on to this, you know, we're starting to get somewhere in politics more. Like, there is a, you know, in Congress, there's a Congressional Free Thought Caucus that the Secular Coalition, when it was healthy at least, you know, established. You know, it's comprised of numerous different members of Congress that are willing to openly say that they support the rights of atheists, which is awesome. But the only problem is that every single person on that caucus is part of one ideological sect. So that's great. We accomplished 50% of the work. Now we got to do the other 50%. So surprisingly so, and I'm glad that there's progress being made here, in the state of Idaho, there is a Republican state senator named Joffrey Schroeder who is out and proud as an atheist. And he's been reelected, and it has not hampered his chances. Now, it's in the state of Idaho. Idaho, in comparison to other states, is much, much smaller. But if this is the beginning of what the next 20 years is going to look like for us, that's fantastic. And what we have to do is we have to keep pushing. So not only creating more content, but doing more protests, getting more people diversely throughout the political spectrum elected as atheists who are proud to support atheism and our separation between religion and government. We can't halt any of our endeavors in that fight. And unfortunately, we had to come into existence 5 years ago because there were a lot of atheists that said, no, I'm content because my ideology is being placated too. So let's not really care about atheism anymore.
Right.
And I think that's something.
Right. We have to normalize the atheist community, but at the same time, be recognized as represented, I guess would be the right word. We need to be represented because we are a growing community, and the number of Americans that identify with no religion has grown to such a huge number. I can't say all those people are necessarily atheists, but you know, a huge chunk of them are, and I think they lack representation. So I love the idea. I think that's awesome.
We also need to grab as many like Christian allies as we can that want separation of church and state.
Yeah,
like that's another thing that I think is important.
Yeah,
with like
building coalition
as far as activism goes, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
See,
and you know the chat's right. We have a serious problem in the United States with politicians not being allowed to be atheist. Like if you don't have some kind of religion, you're not going to get in because it's such a huge part. I don't understand how these people came over here to have freedom from religion and then decided to make this a religious fucking country. Like
And
it's
Joe
ridiculous. And I don't have any
were-
problem with people's faith or what they
Right.
believe in, or if they're praying to a deity, or if they're a witch. I don't give a shit. But none of it should be pushed on other people because we're supposed to have freedom from religion here.
Joe and I were talking about Ken Ham, and his new guy Martin Iles just got handed $150 million budget to go after their push against social issues, and they don't like atheists either. So there's big money. That's just him. This one guy is getting handed $150 million annually.
Yep.
It's not just that Christian nationalists have infiltrated the government. The government has also infiltrated Christian nationalists and theism in general. So you have this behavior now to where religious organizations are engaging in the culture war whenever, because of their power to persuade people, I guess, to indoctrinate, and they're starting to include those types of issues into it, and it's a big problem that we need to stand up against. I agree.
It's getting so disturbing too because I pay attention very much to the rise of the Groyper movement, which are a group of Gen Z guys that want to basically promote Catholic nationalism, or they call it Christian futurism. Yeah, Fuentes and his type. You know, you got to give the enemy credit where it's due. On X and on so many other platforms, they are able to out-ratio a lot of people. You have when they do streams and fundraisers, they get sometimes tens of thousands of views. They did a holiday fundraiser at the end of 2023 where they fundraised, and Nick Fuentes is my age, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and their movement is only growing and gaining more relevance. They're infiltrating so many different think tanks and outlets where just a few years ago, they would have not had any say in policy making, any say in culture war movements. It's definitely very much a massive problem, and they're trying to also form alliances with militant Muslims, with Islamists as well, saying, what those guys are doing in the Middle East and what they're doing in spreading religion and Islamism into Western Europe, let's copy that and let's be friends with them, and let's harass people on streams, let's dogpile people, let's infiltrate X spaces, let's go to the Turning Point USA convention and just like have a rival convention right outside and pack it with our people. And so if you are with YAL or TPUSA or with any of these other organizations, it's hard to tell who is an underground Catholic nationalist and who is just a regular conference attendee. You can't tell. And so we for Liberty have had so many issues where we would go to conferences, we would get into issues with some of these supporters who are only growing in mass. And I know it's unpopular for some people to give credit to the enemy, but it is due. It should only be a wake-up call for atheists to stop bickering and dividing themselves amongst side issues and get together and unite. Because even though we are in the majority, even though we are constantly growing year after year, the Pew Research data is showing that, we care very much more about what Richard Dawkins says, or what this atheist says or that atheist says, that we're not going to get together and get 30,000 atheists at the Washington Mall anymore. We're going to call each other bad guys, bigots, whatever, and not actually defend our country and defend our secular civilization from religious insanity.
Yeah. Well, I think that the politicians have learned to embrace some of the tactics that the church uses to gather people under doctrine, and they've adopted this doctrine of hate on these social issues, and they're taking advantage of what the church already has to gather those people under it. And atheism, lacking a doctrine, doesn't really have that power. But it doesn't keep us from being able to come together and support the issues that we care about. So yeah, I agree. There needs to be more organization, and I think groups like what you're talking about are doing that, and that's awesome. I support that 100%. Someone asked, are you left leaning or right leaning?
Yeah, I was about to ask that.
So the answer is neither. So
I thought that was the answer.
We get the impression that we are just a right-wing group because we have the name Liberty in it. And I will admit, one of the first things we did, it was go to CPAC in 2020 when we premiered. We often appear like right-wing only because we are the only national atheist organization that is actually willing to say you could be like conservative and libertarian and be secular and be atheistic. We are the only professionalized national outlet that's willing to do that. And I think it's very important that we do that, because why the heck should we have a conservative movement and a right-wing movement that is using, well, because I believe in Jesus, to justify policy positions that impact Americans everywhere? I would rather have a left and a right in this country that is purely secular, that argues based off of reason and not religion. So I think the left has actually prospered in so many ways because the atheist movement was so successful at secularizing the left, but the right needs to now undergo that same change. And so when it comes to our membership, we have liberals, we have Democrats, we have Libertarian Party members, we have Republicans, we have what the atheist movement was 10 to 15 years ago, a bipartisan, healthy movement that cared about secular values and making sure that we're successful nationwide.
Well, I apologize. I assumed you were more left because you were crashing the CPAC. So I apologize for misspeaking in chat. But,
no, it's okay. We even make some allies at CPAC because we tell Christians, like, hey, like, let's say you're a conservative activist and you want people you want to win people over to your political cause. We don't endorse conservatism nor leftism in Atheists for Liberty. Right. But let's say you are. Wouldn't you want to not have a barrier based off of a mystical magic man in the sky, a fairy tale that you can't even justify its existence on?
Exactly.
Right? That is political activists, and there are leftists that do that too. Like, you look at the BLM movement, and some people saying, "Well, my God supports Black Lives Matter." Like, great, okay. It's a shot in your foot. Instead of growing your own community and growing your own movement, these people would instead put a halt on that and say, no, you need to believe in this religious doctrine in order to support my community. And it's laughable. And so we sometimes get a bad rep by other atheists for doing the things that some atheists won't do.
Yeah, I think that, in prior years, it's only been in recent years that this whole left-right thing where it's one group thinks they have to hate the other. And I mean, I'm all for either, anybody, any person who wants to drop those bad ideas and start making decisions based on facts and information rather than, religion, because as we've seen, that's horrible. So, I don't care so much about that. Azzo here, he is my sidekick and co-host every week.
I'm the furniture.
I don't give a shit. Like, it's not, I don't care about that.
Whoa, Joe, you're throwing me under the bus. Wait, we got 91 people in here, and we had 5 in one day, and I got in a major fight over that. Oh, crap. Here we go again. Well, Trees, you and me, round one.
We don't have to go down that road. I was just saying, me and Azzo don't agree on certain things. But I still love the guy, like it's not, it doesn't have to be like that. Let's base things on evidence and facts rather than, crazy nonsense. And anybody, no matter what they vote or feel politically, as long as they're not, spreading hate and stuff like that, I'm glad that they come to that idea, so.
Tom, what is your organization's stance on trans people? Because Trees asked that.
Yeah, so we have quite an array of views when it comes to trans issues and the gender discussion and debate. So on one end, we actually have a volunteer staffer of ours who is trans. So we have somebody who's very passionate, not about trans issues, but who is trans herself. She has done a fantastic job helping to run our social media and a few other things there. And simultaneously, we have people like Colin Wright, who's on our advisory board. He's an evolutionary biologist that backs the Richard Dawkins sex binary kind of view that a lot of atheists hold as well. So we've been able to have a diverse range of members as well when it comes to that issue too. Definitely there is I would say where all the membership is united. Most of the members are not on board with the whole non-binary issue. A lot of them really are not fully on board with that as a concept, but a lot of them are like very libertarian when it comes to, if you want to identify the way you want to identify, the law is in your favor, go ahead. And it's, I will say there are certain political issues though that we don't even get into debates on or even take a stance on for certain reasons to not have people pulling each other's hair out. So like we're neutral on abortion, for instance, because if any of you have ran atheist Facebook group, I run a group called Firebrand Atheists on Facebook. It's got like 30 to 40,000 people in there. You put up any thread about the topic of abortion, even amongst like progressives, like if it was a group, even of progressive atheists, and you put up a post about abortion, people will still be ripping each other's hair out over the topic. So there are certain things where we just don't touch at all. But on trans issues, it's kind of a unique middle ground for us because we're not on board with like some of the woke stuff where people are shoving a gender ideology down people's throat as a religion and canceling others for having a certain point of view. But simultaneously, we're not a think tank that puts out like anti-trans or pro-trans kind of stuff. That's just not within our purview.
Can you give an example of like the forcing down the throat? What you mean by that?
Yeah. So if you look at Richard Dawkins, this is a brilliant example of this. You have had the American Humanist Association, a renowned institution that has been in existence since the 1940s, taking away Dawkins' 1996 Humanist of the Year award for being, by the way, not even a right winger. He's a liberal man. A view on the sex binary and on gender issues that most atheist Democrats even hold. If you were to go to the Reason rally 12 years ago, and Richard Dawkins would have been on the ground, on the grass, and if he were saying the exact same things he said a few years later about the topic, the vast majority of atheists at that event, non-bigoted people, would have concurred with him. And yet he got canceled by prominent atheist institutions for simply having an outside view pertaining to his career. And Colin Wright has received some of the same exact harassment. And this is some of the division that I'm talking about here. And actually, if you look at Richard Dawkins, he even tries to pander to the pro-trans side, saying like, I'm not trying to be bigoted. This is just my view. This is my career. And we have totally discarded, in many ways, the most famous atheist in the world and the work that he's done to get us more attention as atheists in the country just because of an outside issue like that.
Wow. Thank you, Justin.
Yeah, Justin gifted 5 memberships. They went to Blaster Master, Jason Jacoby, whatever, Jasper, Mark Stoney, Poor Claire, all got memberships. Welcome, guys, and thanks so much, Justin. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Justin. Where's my camera? I don't know. Sorry. I don't need a camera. I need some maple syrup.
I mean, I think that that's a complicated issue to go down that road right now, because I think there's a very nuanced conversation that maybe we could have sometime about that, because
absolutely.
I mean, I respect your position, and at the same time, I feel like you're kind of straddling the fence too. But that's okay.
That's what I have to do as president. That's what I have to do as president, right? Keeping all these people united together.
Yeah, we just talked about like where people put their line, and that's fine. That's where you put yours, and that's acceptable. I think that I think there's plenty of things to talk about in that area, especially given you're not really taking one side or the other. But I understand in your position why that may be necessary sometimes. But I hope that that progresses in a different direction for you.
Let's say a positive direction.
Yeah, positive.
Well, can I jump in on the conversation?
Yeah, go for it. What you got to say, Al?
don't know if I can. Okay, well, as you know, I'm hard to shut up, so I'm going to try to keep this brief, and I think my signal will clip out, which might keep it briefer than usual. But I like the idea that a group has a goal in mind that's universal and doesn't necessarily package it with, and if you think that, you then have to take all of this along with it.
Right.
Because there are things in party politics where they sit, like, and I've always found this really problematic because I have differing opinions from what party politics would say. If you are this, then you are also then these other 27 items you also are checking, because that's just the way it is. When oftentimes people are aligned based on a pet issue, if you will, and it's because it's something that affects them directly. They get involved, and then they end up swallowing a bunch of other stuff with it. And I much prefer the idea that individual issues be taken on their own merit and thought about clearly. And I think it is important to bring differing political views, because people can align with a party or not a party, or one side or the other. And in American politics, which is not what I'm involved in, it's very, I think you have blue and red. We have blue and red that means the opposite. But like, you have just a two-party system. And if you take one, you're then taking everything that goes with it. And the idea that if you're on the right side of the aisle, you then are also religious automatically. And religion and conservatism are hand in hand. And then therefore it then means that, on the Venn diagram, it then brings in these other groups, or other ideals that maybe aren't even yours, and vice versa. Because it is possible to be on what I might consider the wrong side of an issue, but also agree with me on atheism. And I think it's important to recognize those people exist, and that keeping religion out of politics is in everyone's benefit. And even religious people would agree, if you are able to frame it for them. And a lot of people are able to do this, but it's important to remind people. Imagine another religion taking over and telling you, not that you're going to be an atheist, but that you're going to be this other religion, not the one you were born with, because they're the ones with the most numbers. And in a democracy that's also a theocracy, the majority rules.
Right. Yeah. I think that,
and that's something that I really appreciate.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think that people sometimes get carried away with party politics and forget to consider all the individual issues. And I think that's been a huge problem as far as that goes.
Yeah.
What's up, Amber?
Amber.
Hello.
Hey, Amber.
All right. I just got home from work. You've seen my comments, so I've been watching for a little while. I just want to chime in. As many of you know, I run a smaller nonprofit, primarily geared towards promoting active LGBT inclusivity. So I just want to weigh in on this and say, I often work with people who either don't give a rat's ass about trans issues, or are just ambivalent on LGBT, or, as long as they're not actively anti-LGBT, because there are bigger, broader issues. For example, in this case, atheism. Because if we can normalize atheism, then we can have a much more sane conversation about LGBT issues.
Yes.
Because people won't be throwing out Bible verses left and right.
Yeah. I think that's a
fantastic.
Yeah. Great point.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah, no, I agree.
That's
what, I mean, I know that Tom hangs out on the line there, and I'm cool with that. Like, I just don't, what I'm against is people who are for hate and who are trying to promote people to hate each other. And as long as you're not doing that, I'm cool with you. Period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's been the whole goal of my channel from the beginning, is to get people together and get new people to meet each other and to have conversations. And I've had people meet up in my chat who were like 2 trans women met up in my chat that had never met before, and they got along great. And now they're best friends and they talk all the time and they support each other, stuff like that. That's that one thing happening made 3 months of streaming worth it to me, But that's what I'm all about. I'm all about getting people together and getting people to get to know each other. Because if you don't understand and don't know each other, you don't care as much. And if you care a little bit more, you'll pay attention to the issues and the topics more. And then you'll have an opinion and you'll form an opinion. You'll learn more about it. So that's what I've always been about. So I love it, Tom. It's great.
Yeah, I think that was excellent input, Ember. I agree. That's
very well put.
Sometimes, on a lot of these issues, it's a button issue where people immediately go to whatever ideals they have, and then they team up in those ideas and want to spread bad things and stuff. And I think as long as you're not trying to hurt people, there's no reason to have an issue with it. Even if you disagree, because we can all disagree and not hate each other. I mean, that's the important thing. Yeah.
I bet you if you found the right topic, you could get all 8 of us to have a different opinion about it.
Oh, sure.
Guaranteed.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And we'd have 3 arguing with 3. Yeah, exactly. We'd have 3 of us arguing with the other 3 in 5 minutes, because that's just the way it is. And which is great, because I appreciate the diversity, the mental diversity of all of it. And people's different opinions and everything. Because I've learned so much in the last 5 years I've been on YouTube. I can't even tell you how much I've learned. I've learned a lot about the Black community. I've learned a lot about Asian community, like all this different stuff. So, this is such an amazing platform if we use it properly. And that's the key, is just getting everybody to use it properly.
Well,
hello, Ember.
Well, hello.
Dave's talking.
Sorry.
Are we getting rid of the idiot in the chat, or?
I don't know.
What's up?
What kind do you have?
Yeah, Justin's trying to capture me.
Yeah.
I'm too elusive, people to pray to get rid of the gay, so.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of the adjustments we had to make over at Mike's channel the other day. Was it was always very open. Mike would give everybody a wrench, right? And now he had to give some people super wrenches, and there's going to be 0 tolerance if some of these people show up with their foul mouths. They're just gone, because we're not going to tolerate it. It's getting ridiculous.
Get kicked off right away,
if you want to troll with, if you want to troll away, all of us like to troll sometimes, but if you're just diving into, and we know, we know what we're talking about, what they're saying, you know what I mean? And it's like, no. Go somewhere else with that.
Yeah. That was the exact thing we were talking about. Like, if you want to talk about issues, even if you don't agree, let's talk about it. Let's not go and say hateful, horrible things. So, I took care of that. He's still showing up for us in StreamYard, but he's gone in other places.
Okay, this is something that we're not well served by an echo chamber, but we don't. An echo having not an echo chamber doesn't mean that you have to platform hatred and intolerance, because you can have a differing opinion without being hateful,
right?
And you can even think something somewhat unkind without being hateful. Now, I have written a lot of terrible songs about very terrible people, and I, you know what? You can disagree with me, but I don't hate those people, but I do think very, very unkindly towards them. And one of them, who infers that my son is a demon-possessed person because he's on the spectrum, I'm close to hating, but I definitely have 0 respect for.
Yeah.
So,
hate's a big
that's
word.
Where I'm at.
Yeah.
Hate is
some
a big
folks.
word.
Some folks.
If I am gonna hate somebody, it might be that guy.
Some folks forget that the organ donation program is voluntary.
Right.
Right. Some people do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take off, guys. Thanks for having me on, everyone.
All right,
Yeah,
later. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
Thanks for.
I'll be in the chat. I'm still listening.
All right, man.
So yeah, it's been great to meet you, Tom. And like I said, I followed you back on X, and hopefully you know, we get to see more of you, come hang out or whatever. I shot you an email too.
Absolutely, yeah, and I got AFL to follow you on X as well, so should be good there too.
Awesome. Yeah, and
I gotta figure that out.
You set a record bringing quite the crowd with you today.
Hopefully, I can bring more next.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it.
Touche, Maya.
Exposure.
Yeah.
I got.
It's Maya here too.
Hello.
I got him subscribed as well.
Yeah.
Hello, my beautiful friend. How are you? She's amazing.
And you know, that's really what it comes down to, is trying to be inclusive to those that, you know, we don't have to agree on everything, but I think that also, though, at the same time, we as an atheist community together need to work to normalize it and quit fighting among ourselves so much. I think that is a big thing that goes on, and it's one thing to make a video where you take a shot at someone or something like that. That's, you know, that happens. Drama is going to occur, but this to absolutely be against one another is against our own. It's to our detriment, I guess would be the way to say it. And I hope that we can do better on that in the future. And because I've met wonderful people doing this, and it's been one hell of a great adventure. Getting to know everybody and stuff. Speaking of getting to know great people, there's Ed, the Rabid Atheist.
What's up, Ed? Hi, Ed. Welcome.
Hello.
Hey. I was just coming in because this whole week I've had dealings with what I would consider a propagandist, an anti-atheist propagandist in Mr. Jim Bob. And
I'm so glad I dodged all that nonsense.
I would recommend staying away from him if you possible.
Yeah, excellent move, Edward.
Because
you are a smart lady.
Yeah, because it brings up the issue of atheism being normalized instead, and this is our problem. If we're not united, we're going to have a harder time normalizing this.
Yeah.
Because there's plenty of people out there that are propagandizing against us, and so there's no shortage of those people. And as long as we're still a minority group, which we still are, we still have to, play the game like one. Okay, and
right.
So unity is a lot more important than the stupid shit that divides us. So, but I've been a long time libertarian, pretty much all my life. So my idea has always been, I can talk with anybody, and I mean anybody. I can pretty much engage anybody. There does come a point where it's like, I don't think we're going to agree on that, so that's going to be the end of the conversation. And I've had people come on my channel and argue that conservatism, for instance, and religion are indelibly linked, and I'm like, no, I don't think so. Conservatism is just preserving what they believe is good. Okay, that's the root of the idea. And liberalism is about change, and you need both forces to have an effective dialogue. The problem is religion hijacked one of our sides here in the United States. It's tried to take it over, and we got to figure out a way to get rid of the hijacking. So, and I just don't see how we're going to get there without some unity. So.
Yeah, well, we've got to, bring down the frustration level so that people can discuss rationally. As long as people think that they have an obligation from a, supremely powerful being that they have to do a certain thing, it pushes rationality right out the window.
Yeah,
agreed.
Precisely.
Agreed, so because they're scared. They believe in it, and they're scared, and they're literally
scared.
Fear.
They're terrified of
they're
eternal
literally,
hellfire.
Yeah, they're literally
I was
scared
there.
of it. It's sad, but God, it affects their psyche so much sometimes they can't see past the end of their own nose, you know?
Yeah, because having been in that so long, you know, I know the mentality. That's why I have a lot more patience with theists than a lot of people say. You have so much patience with them. I used to be them. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And when you've used to be something, it's like, you know, the whole fuckery that goes up in your head and why you believed all that stuff. And when it comes off, you know, I've likened it to, you know, the Wizard of Oz, when you finally see the old man behind the curtain, you know, that it's all a game. And once you see that, you can't unsee it. Well, it's getting people to see the man behind the curtain. And that's the hard part. And they're so afraid of Oz out front that they don't want to look behind the curtain. They're too scared to. And there's just a lot to lose for a lot of them. So,
I agree.
That's something I learned. I had to mellow over the years, because when I first got involved in talking to these people, I'm like, are y'all stupid or what? I mean, what the hell's wrong with you? You know what I mean? And then it's, as I learn more, it's like, okay, these are deeply held beliefs. They've been ingrained, and yeah, it's a lot harder because I'm coming from, I was never really a believer or anything. So yeah, I'm looking, you know, at all this stuff like, what the heck are you talking about? You actually think these things really happened? You know, it's a storybook, right? And this is when I was a little kid. So, but as I've gotten older now, I've learned to have a lot more sympathy and say, okay, yeah, they were raised that way. I wasn't. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, I think
in today, Robert Atheist, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
I think today, in the with what social media is and the reach that the atheist community has, I think it's important to understand the fact that, and it is a fact, that when you challenge these ideas to the point where they don't have an answer, they don't always, you know, agree. It's usually the opposite. They bury themselves deeper in their beliefs, and it sometimes makes them more fundamentalist and more fanatical. And so you know, sometimes that conversation has to follow them into that, especially when you have such a huge group of people with such a loud voice, you know, spouting the awful things that they spout sometimes. And I think that's one of those situations where it's like, you have to make some decisions about how you want to approach those issues. But it's good that we have such a wide variety of people in the atheist community to talk about all these different issues. People have experienced these things. Ed, you know, he's had his experience with it. Ember has. I grew up in a young Earth creationist community, and I dealt with that. You know, so I think it's important that we find ways to challenge bad ideas in the most graceful way possible. But sometimes you just have to follow them into the shit to you know, get anywhere. And I think it's always a good idea to correct bad ideas, though. I think as long as we're continuing to challenge bad ideas with rational thought and facts, we'll continue to grow, and it's inevitable that it becomes more and more normal in America. And that is an awesome thing that I'm happy to be a part of.
I want to just quickly chime on in and just say I'm going to head out, but I want to say thank you, Joe, for having me on and providing the StreamYard link and everything. It was great to come on and get to introduce myself to you guys and to get to know each other. And yeah, I already started to see some of the emails coming in from you guys and the messages. I am really looking forward to working alongside some of you guys. I think it's going to be fantastic. And anything I can do to help, let me know. Hopefully adding a few extra viewers to the show has contributed a little bit. And I highly suggest for anybody from Atheists for Liberty who's watching, go ahead and subscribe to the Kentucky Atheist channel and support him. If you're watching on the Atheists for Liberty channel, just like you can switch on over even and just search up the Kentucky Atheist. And I've already seen in the description of your videos and streams all your social medias there. We just started following Joe, and I am more than happy to follow every single one of the people that are in this stream here. And I would love to go on your shows as well. I've already seen some invites, and Ember, I'm looking forward to chatting with you, especially.
Absolutely.
So I want to say thank you guys. I got one of those pesky meetings to go into, but I'm looking forward to.
Well, I appreciate your support, Tom. It means a lot.
Yep. And it was great. It was great talking with you, Tom.
Yeah.
Great talking to you.
Always
good
good
talking
to meet
with you.
a new skeptical, rational friend.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
More the merrier.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, I'm going to dip out because my cats are really bad at making my dinner for me. So, I love you all. It was great meeting all the new people. And peace out, everybody.
Yeah.
But I'll be listening.
Yeah.
All right, Beck.
Later's, Beck.
Bye, guys.
Yeah, Maya, from what I understand, he leans a bit towards the libertarian side. So,
Me too.
He kind of wanted to straddle the fence a little bit about it, but I wasn't really gonna put him on the spot too much. He was being friendly and not being a shithead about it. So I enjoyed having him, and it's always great to meet new people. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And it's important to keep in mind that as a president of an organization, even if he does have strong opinions about certain things, he really can't talk about them in his capacity as president.
Yeah, that's what I said before you came in. I was like, I understand that you really can't take a hard position on some of those things as the president of the company. So yeah, but cool. That was awesome. I was glad to meet him and glad that so many more people got exposed to the show. I hope they go and subscribe right now. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, somebody should drop his links again.
Yeah.
I got him when Pragmatic posted. Well, you posted one and Pragmatic posted the other, and I snap posted both
I think
of them
it's still on my clipboard, so I can just paste. Yep. There's that one anyway. I will at the conclusion of this video, I'll post all of his links, and everybody that was on the panel, I'll put your links in the description too, so everybody can go check you guys out. I'm glad that everybody came to take part in that discussion. That's one of the areas that I really like to talk about personally is normalization and how to stop some of the infighting and attack the bad ideas.
Yeah, it drives me crazy because we
stop
all
sending
have
us recipes for babies. Gosh,
right? But we all understand that it's a very important goal, and like I said in my case, it's not just atheism, but also LGBT issues. But with greater atheism, discussing these other important issues becomes much more viable. And TLDR, we need to keep our eye on the fucking bowl. The goal is the goal. The plan is not the goal. So the fact that we keep ripping each other apart, sometimes it's founded, but when we fuck up, we need to say we're sorry and get back on track instead of constantly harping about drama. If somebody fucks up, say they're sorry and get the shit back together because we need each other. We're still a big minority.
We took our lumps the other day and we apologized. Yeah, we stepped up. So we should probably stream, and it's like we should. And we heard about it and we listened.
Yeah,
that's very good to hear. I've also seen some other positive outcomes happen because of it. I wasn't there. I only saw clips after the fact. But a lot of people's feelings were very, very hurt. And two of the people whose feelings were most hurt were also in a not great place at the time. And you hate to see it, especially since they're both really, really good people.
Oh, yeah.
That said, we've seen people have begun making movements to deal with not only this Jim Bob person, but other people like him in the future. To just cut that shit off.
Well, the olive branch has gotten a little shorter. Basically, it's still there, but if you're not a good faith actor, then just don't even bother because you're gonna get booted.
Yeah, I mean, this week I've been dealing with Jim Bob, and he's just been following me around. I finally had to block him because I have a standard rule: don't name call on my channel. It's just it doesn't do anything. It dehumanizes the other person. There's just no point in doing it. So he comes on, starts calling me a couple names. I told him about the rule, and then he does it again. It's like at that point, I had to block him because it's like, it's not that I don't want dialogue with you, but I don't think you want dialogue with me at this point. I don't, it's like, I'm done.
That's what we did. We tried to give him a chance, and we gave him another chance, and we're like, hey, come on now, we'll give you one more chance, and nope, it didn't work.
Yeah,
so.
But he's all week.
That's what I had to do.
But we hope that people will see that we did try to extend the olive branch, and who was not in good faith in the discussion. That's what we hope came out of it.
I started to do some research about him. I'm talking about this more tomorrow in my video, but I started to research him. I watch how he does debate tactics, and I was like, okay. And then he had talked to a guy named Mr. Anderson, and then Mr. Anderson warned
Mr. Anderson was on with us yesterday.
Yeah, and so it's like
fucking cool.
He's a great guy, and always been very fair, in my opinion, when I've watched his videos. And it's like, and then he warned Atheist Junior. This guy likes to cut his streams off and not share them, so that he can control the narrative. And sure as shooting, that's what he did. When he had his debate with Atheist Junior. And so it's like, okay, this guy's slimy too. Okay, it's like and the more I begin,
and when he gets destroyed, he edits it out.
Yeah, he edits it out.
And we found that out. Yeah,
he edited the one video that he had a debate with 6 atheists or something. I destroyed all these guys, and it's like you edited out the parts where they made good points.
Yeah, he does. He does. He's a weenie.
And then after a while,
in a way that's kind of our
fault. My political science wheels are turning, and it's like, no, he's a propagandist. He's not interested.
Yeah. Well, we've all been saying for years that people like that, like Kent Hovind and others.
Oh yeah.
If they're openly going to lie anyway, why not just lie all the way and just like totally try to change and rewrite reality? And
especially if the super chats, especially if the super chats keep coming in, there's no motive to stop. I mean, they're paying him to do it.
Real quick,
they gave him $2,000 to travel to Miami. He didn't even have to pay his travel expenses. The people are paying him to travel and spread this stuff.
Real quick, guys, let me shill for a couple of our friends that couldn't join us on the panel today. If you don't mind, I don't think anybody's going to have a problem with this. But the guys over at Wavelength are getting ready to do a big show with Professor Dave. And, I work a lot with them and do stuff on their channel, and they help me out a lot here. So that's another one for you guys to go check out that are just joining us.
Just watched a Professor Dave video this morning, as a matter of fact.
Me too, actually, a couple of them. Yeah, Professor Dave's he's got his own approach, I guess. I don't always agree with it, but again, it's one of those things like
he's another one that people don't like his approach, but that's his approach. So
I mean, it appeals to people. Some people really, really enjoy the snark. I mean, there's times when I'm in the mood for the condescension and snark. In the James Tour debate, it was absolutely fabulous. And it does push some people away, but it draws other people in. And that's sort of the reason that we all need to work together, because a diversity of perspectives is how we reach people.
Yep. Exactly.
You need Paula Gia and you need Aaron Ra. So, and it doesn't mean that they cross over. It's just, different people they want to hear them say, no, you're wrong, and very forcefully. And then other ones want to just sit back and hear the big, long, intellectual, breakdown of it. And that's, you need all those things. And not everybody can do all of that in one. So you gotta.
Yeah. It's been fun discovering that too, because that's not something that I really understood well myself. But, after, coming in and doing this and then stepping back and looking at it again, it was like, okay, there's not really a wrong or a right way to go about this. It's if you're able to put something out or talk to people in a way that whatever grabs them, that makes them listen for a minute and think about what you're saying, that's the right way. There's not a set of rules for it.
I was going to go out guns blazing, and a lot of people say, man, you get a lot more subs if you were aggressive and this and that. And it's like, yeah, but I made a decision that I wasn't going to do that. That wasn't going to be what I was going to do on my channel. so I'm not going to change course. So
Yeah.
That's a hard one that I do all the time. Is like I could really be a real snarky, sarcastic asshole on my channel and just call names and do all kinds of stuff. But what would that cost me? I think there's a credibility you lose.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Over time when you do that. And
even some of the digs, I go back when I'm rereading it and I'll say, and I'll take that out. You know, it was unnecessary. You know, I made my point. That wasn't necessary. You know,
I've learned the power of the cutting room floor when I look at my videos.
I spend a lot of time there.
Right.
I'll be done in an hour. 4 hours later, I haven't eaten dinner.
I keep all
Never
that
as quick
stuff,
as you think.
I keep the original videos, but it's like, no, I don't think I'm gonna put that one.
And then
out.
I figured, well, I'm gonna do this quick little video, and then my microscope's got a spot I can't get off the thingy. So
you needed red pepper ashes.
It's gonna come. It's coming though. Well, Bree covered that guide saying you should only drink rainwater because it's clean, right? Well, I finally remembered yesterday. I put a brand new clean container out in the rain, in the open, and no, things are squiggling around in raindrops. Just so you know.
I think there can be a situation where rain is clean.
I got to get the spot off my lens because I can't make a video with this big spot on my lens. So
what's up, Tommy?
Yeah, there are a lot of squigglies in a raindrop. Just so you know. So.
Wait, did Dave get done with his diatribe?
You know, when you're sticking, you know, when the people are standing in the rain, they're opening their mouths, sticking their tongue out like with snowflakes and stuff. And you might as well lick the pavement. You might as well lick the pavement because there are squigglies in those raindrops. It's pretty amazing.
Welcome to the Dave Monologue Show.
Well, then I said
the real show starts in about an hour.
I messaged Bree.
You quit mentioning red heifers, Joe.
Red
heifers.
Say
that, I think
I messaged Bree.
Match.com dates here.
I messaged Bree and told her because I'd been meaning to check it out ever since she had that thing on, and she said, "Oh yeah, there's an ecology going on in raindrops," and I was like, "Yeah, there's a micro world going on in each raindrop. It's just amazing, amazing."
I'm sorry. I'll stop. That was the last one. I'll stop there.
But just so everybody knows, tap water under the microscope is very clean and clear. So don't believe the hype that your tap water is bad unless you're having a problem in the area. Yeah, mine was pretty spotless. You can't find hardly anything.
I get a letter every few months
underneath that microscope and see how much crap you see. Literally.
I could put a lot of things under there.
That's what she said.
Just got to get the spot off the lens. Otherwise, I don't want to share it because it'll be like, clean the spot off your lens, Dave. And I'm like,
I can't wait for a warm, clear night where I can share some shots from my telescope. But
that too, I'm waiting for that.
We've had tornado, storm, flood, tornado.
Almost like God doesn't like you, Joe.
Well, last
it's
summer
almost
we had
like there's an arc near you, Joe. It might
we had all that smoke last year too. So, you know, with all the fires, couldn't see the stars. I don't think I hardly saw the stars at all last summer. It was just hazy all the time for one reason or another.
Yeah, don't drink your pee, guys.
Not according to Bear. Drink that stuff before it goes warm.
Yeah, somebody suggested I.
Nice.
Somebody suggested putting swimmers under the microscope, and I'm like, that's a little. I don't know if I could do that.
Only with help. You're married, so you got this, Dave. I swear, it's for science. Just put your mouth right here.
No, I'm looking forward to a lot of things from the pond. I'm hoping for a lot of larvae and all those things showing up in the pond. I'll be able to get under the microscope. So
we got an Alex Jones follower here.
A little Bigfoot swimming around. You know, you hit the big time then, Dave.
I hit the big time. I had an egg in one of BS's videos. So.
Yeah, but it was on your face, not where it should have been.
I used to be an egg once.
If you didn't see BS's new video he just put out, it's hilarious. Go check it out.
Yeah.
And I hope you don't mind that I actually banned or timed out or whatever I did with bubble gum.
No, that's cool. Thanks. I already had done it.
The first thing that I saw was one prayer equal. Sorry, I'm not going to repeat. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
But,
I seen it.
I
banned him on YouTube, but yeah, thanks for doing that because I wasn't paying attention to that. But it happens.
Well, and like when you got bombed the other week too, you know what I mean? It's like you try to be cool, and then somebody bombs you with something.
That was the first time I was left completely speechless on my own stream, to where I just didn't know what to say. I just sat there for a solid 2 minutes and didn't say.
The first time it happens, everybody's like that. The first time it happens, they're like, "What do I do? What does that mean?"
When it happened to Bread of Life, she put her hands up over her camera like it was going to block it. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
She's like, "What do I do?" And she. Instinct. Well, I'll cover up my camera, and it's like, no, you're not the one that's naked.
Yeah, that didn't help any. I had to, but I'm grateful to have those experiences now, learn my lessons, and move forward, and be able to apply that wisdom to future things. So there's a part of it where I'm like, I'm glad that's out of the way now. And, because I've got some future stuff coming up where that would have been really horrible to happen during that.
Well, even if you have a small channel, anybody watching, even if you only have a couple subs, people that give them a wrench so they can help watch your chat, because sooner or later, one of the bombs is going to show up in one way or another.
Yeah.
Why do you have to keep bringing up my family reunion, Dave? That hurts.
What hurts is
the not before.
It's bad enough I got a big Kentucky reunion coming up July 6th. All those hill jacks.
They're planning the 40th.
I am going down there lock and loaded. Sorry,
you better. Go ahead. Everyone else here's got one, so
they're planning our 40th high school reunion. That is just 40 years. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
I have a class reunion the night before I interview Arn Raw at a casino, and I have a feeling it's going to be kind of
behave yourself.
Get inebriated, and
so what you're saying, Robin and me got to cover this shit. That is such a rough one to do.
Yeah,
I think we can handle it though.
Excuse me while I go dry heave during the stream.
What's that? No, I probably just didn't mute his microphone. He's chucking.
I don't drink very often because of the blood thinners I take. It's kind of not.
I don't either.
But I mean, it's not. They didn't tell me I couldn't, but I know the effects that alcohol has on the blood, and I know that when I cut myself, I bleed crazily now. So I probably shouldn't combine the two and challenge fate.
I'm just gonna take a nap. So it's like,
yeah.
I'm such a lightweight anymore. As soon as I have a little alcohol, I just want to take a nap. So.
I come to hear about someone being naked. What are you?
A little wine with a nice steak, though. The wife and I get some nice steaks, and we throw them on the grill. Have a little salad and a nice little red wine. It's very tasty. But
I think
to drink regular. No, I don't drink regular.
Yeah,
no stripper. Come on, Steven.
Yeah.
Get the poll ready.
You got to send super chats if you want to see clothes come off, Steven. I mean, that's serious stuff. We're not.
I'm looking for target.
While you're at it, like, subscribe, and share. There you go. Yeah, your job, Joe.
You got to be a subscriber.
Earl mentioned tardigrades in the chat. That's the reason I got my microscope. I saw a video of a guy that was finding tardigrades in his yard, and that's my goal. I want to find one. So I've got lots of moss around my yard, and I am on the pursuit of some tardigrades. So, along the way, though, I've found a lot of other things. I already put a couple videos up with the nematodes and a couple of the other videos I put up. It's amazing what's in a drop of water. It really is.
Yeah. No,
I'm having a lot of fun with my microscope.
Yeah.
And with the camera, it is so much more enjoyable than trying to get your eyes in those eyepieces, It's up on my 30-inch screen, and I'm looking at it. It's amazing.
Yeah, I heard Ed's getting a stripper pole on his channel.
Oh, no.
He said the first song he's going to dance to is Like a Virgin.
No, so I wouldn't.
No, I did spot a rotifer. I have a video up with a rotifer, which is pretty cool. But I haven't spotted a tardigrade yet. But I'm looking. And again, though, it's dumb luck. You have to grab the right drop of water. So.
Squeeze.
I'm tagging people in the description, so give me just a moment and I'll join the conversation again.
But like Joe's, I've got a camera for my telescope too, so
yeah.
Hugh Ross is promising me some UFOs, and I'm still holding him to
there
it.
You go.
Oh yeah, speaking of, Dave and I just did a stream on Hugh Ross. What was it, last week? I can't remember. Everything runs together on me.
Sunday.
Yeah. But the Hugh Ross video that I mentioned that I've got coming up in the pipeline, I was just adjusting the members pre-release video over on my channel. It's the video after this one, so it'll be out on June 2nd is when the next Hugh Ross video comes out.
Oh, he's got a couple on Genesis too, how he does his Genesis twist to fit the Bible and everything. He's got a couple videos I was watching on that. That's some gymnastics there too.
Wow, who got Orbit all wound up?
My Hugh Ross video is one of my most watched videos. It did really well. Got over 400 views, I think.
Yeah, he's popular. One of my earliest series is I did a 9-part series on him or some shit when he was on the John Ankerberg show originally.
And AI knew who he was too. I punched in, I need a Hugh Ross with UFOs, and first try, I got Hugh Ross with a UFO over his head. I was like, yeah, even AI knew who Hugh Ross was.
The link for Blaster Master. Does anybody know that?
I got him on my channel. Hang on.
Yeah, me too.
Post it in the chat if you don't care. I want to make sure I get everybody that was on the panel today, because I'm bad about not doing that. So we'll do it right in the middle of the stream. Fuck it.
Blaster's been on my channel too. So if you want to hear a conversation,
he's joined us a few times.
He's been on there.
Yeah. I just want to make sure I get everybody in there because I'm bad about not doing that. But
I got like 700 subs, so hang on a second.
That's like me. It's like I know I got them somewhere, but
why don't they put them in alphabetical order?
I don't know.
It would be too easy.
I'll give you the choice to anyway.
It pulls up a bunch of Blaster Masters. I just don't know which one's him.
80
seems to be a common name on YouTube.
Anything that rhymes, there's going to be 1,000 people with that name.
Well, that sounds like a good gaming name. So,
well, there was another Kentucky Atheist that had the URL, the Kentucky Atheist, and it wouldn't let me have it. But after I monetized my channel, they let me have it, so I took it.
Hell yeah!
I don't know.
Blaster Master. There we go.
Good, because I'm only halfway.
It was almost at the bottom of my list. Yeah.
Oh, thank goodness.
Here, I'll put it in the private.
That'll work because I can copy and paste from there.
There you go.
Cool. Blaster Master 80. Let's see.
Yeah, he was literally almost the last one on my list. Yeah, he should. Yeah, what? That is so. That really annoys me every time. I'm like, why aren't they in alphabetical order? I don't understand the order that they put them in there. It's like they're getting an email. YouTube, you're getting an email. Put your shit in alphabetical order.
They'll probably give some lame excuse like, which alphabet? What are you talking about?
How about Cyrillic?
Oh, shit. Sorry.
Did you break it?
Maybe. I'm good at that.
Now watch us all do our administrative stuff in the background.
Yeah. Like this is the time to do it or something.
Yes. Oh, there's a show going on? What?
Yeah.
Just look at the audience. Are you still here?
Yeah. Just watch us top, guys, just for a second, and I promise we'll get there.
We're working on it. Make your popcorn.
Well, I want to put all this stuff in while the show's on because there's a lot of people watching that isn't familiar with everyone here, and I think it would be good to have that available for them.
Have I mentioned to like, subscribe, and sub to TKS?
Yeah, do your job, damn it.
And make all checks payable to Asshole 64 Incorporated.
Is that a tax exempt organization, as?
As big as my ass is, it should be. And I don't even have
with the Board of Charities.
Yeah.
We could figure out a way, so we could figure out a way to make
I'm saving myself for Ed anyway in that poll of his. Well, that didn't sound right. The stripper poll on his show. I can hear it.
Yeah, I will say, talking with you, Ember, last Sunday, that was the fastest hour and a half I ever spent. It's always a pleasure to talk with you. You're well versed. You're learned, and it's a great conversation. And I was like, dang, that was like the fastest hour and a half I ever spent. So.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, I'm so fucking boring, Dave. I mean, geez.
I know.
That's why you have me around, Joe. Don't worry about it.
My shit just seems to drag out forever.
I'm joking. I didn't mean to step on you there, Amber.
It's all right. It's all right. No, there was so much to talk about. I feel like we barely scratched the surface on that video, and boom, we were out of time.
Yeah.
There's so much. He says so many things that are wrong. It's hard, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what I said, though. And then, somebody complained one of my videos was an hour and 20 minutes. They said, you could have said that in less than a half hour. So I said, all right. So I'm committed. My next video, 20 minutes. I was concise as all get out, right? It didn't do that good. So I did a live stream. It rolls over 2 hours. It's got hundreds and hundreds of views. So
people like longer video. I mean, there are some people who prefer shorter form content they can consume quickly, and that's fine. But like across every channel I've seen analytics for, videos that are over 10 minutes do better than under 10 minutes. Videos that are over 20 minutes do better than ones that are under 20 minutes. And then there's channels like Erica's where if it's not 4 hours, she phoned it in,
Yeah. Well, I averaged mine out. My best ones were 40 minutes or less. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to target for a half hour. But then, my concise one it bombed on me. And the one where I rambled on, and was saying hi to everybody in the chat and everything, as well as doing the review points. Yeah, it ended up over 2 hours long, and it did really well. So
there's exceptions to every rule, and whenever you find the place that you fit in, whether it be long, short, whatever, I think that's
well, I give up. If I can do it short, I'm doing it short. If I got a lot to say, it's going a couple hours. Yeah. So that's just how it's going to be.
Algorithm game, but that's not always. You always got to fine tune it past that, So I quit worrying about it. Honestly, I just
Me too. There's
if
no
everybody
rhyme or
here
reason.
subscribes, though, I'll be over 1,000 subs today. That would be great.
You never know. I mean, sometimes surges happen. You go up incrementally, and then boom.
Well, I think I'll get a few bumps here coming up, but we'll see. I don't really.
I'm a tortoise. My graph is.
I spend so much time on it, so I want it to do well. But at the same time, that's not really why I care about it. It's,
I know the feeling.
My graph is all up. It's just. Not big over 2 years, that's all. But it keeps going up. It keeps going up. So
just give it time, KA.
Mine was going down for a while. I had a month where I lost subscribers. January was awful for this channel.
I had a few of those months.
Yeah.
You put out a video and it's like, oh man, that pissed off some people.
Wow.
Oh, you want to drive people away? Just come out as trans.
Did it cost?
The city? It's crazy. But Ed,
did it really cost you that much, Amber?
I mean, I was prepared to lose people, but it still surprised me. It's shocking how many. But that's neither here nor there. Ed, if you were away from your channel for a while, and then you came back. and then you it was like a fuse for a minute, and then it went boom. And do you have any idea how that happened or why?
I still don't know.
Subscribed.
Yeah, it was probably Azo.
That's fair.
subscribe to my channel, Azo.
Funny, it doesn't work here.
Thing is, I came back.
Dave, I think you're probably one of the first ones I did sub to.
Yeah, but
it's
when
not.
I came
but
back,
feel good.
I came back because all of a sudden I got like 250 subs, and I had been away for like a year, and then in a month I got like 250 subs, and I wasn't doing anything.
Yeah,
and then
that's what I'm doing wrong.
And so I came back, and I was very reluctant to come back because the emotions of doing an atheist channel run the whole gambit. It's you get people that are assholes all the way to people that are really supportive.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then there's Azo64, which is in his own category altogether.
Okay, I do my own thing.
Well, I had spring fever, and I was out because I got my pond. I was getting my pond ready and doing everything, and I'm just like, screw YouTube.
Yeah, but
then I was sitting here going, you know what? My analytics are going down. I haven't put anything out, so I should probably do something. So I ended up putting out like 3 videos and doing 4 streams on other people's channels in a week. So I'm like, and then and then my numbers were all boom, right back where they should have been again. And I was like, okay, so I can still go outside, do my thing, say screw YouTube, and then come back to it, and I'll still be okay.
I would love to get on with I Killed Earl again. That was a fun stream that we did together about autism. I would absolutely do that if we could.
You're gonna love Deep Six.
That was my best. That was my
fantastic.
That was my highest viewed live stream.
Yeah, right. It was.
Justin, he works 3rd shift, so you're gonna have to probably finagle a time. Not to talk for Ed, but
Earl bumped me down. Didn't she, Joe? Our Ron Wyatt was doing pretty good till Earl came along.
Yeah, I give Earl props. From an informational standpoint, she was much more well prepared in that stream than I was. I just wanted to talk about my experience, but she definitely did her homework really well, and I enjoyed being on.
She looked better in makeup than you did, Ed. Sorry.
That's correct. That is correct. So,
but that corset was sexy on you, Ed. I'll give you that.
Yeah, Deep Six is a lot of fun though, and I got lucky and got to even help host the other day with JL Warren, which was a blast. He's probably one of my favorite guests that I've had on so far. He's
well, my favorite was that guy Ed Raby. Shut up, Joe, and then probably JL.
JL's amazing. He's got so much to say about so many things. If you ever hit a dead spot with JL, just start on horror movies, and he can go for hours. He's so great. I love that man.
You don't remember Ed being on, Joe, or you just being?
He's been on here. I was talking about Deep Six.
Yeah, I haven't been on Deep Six yet.
It's on there. We're talking about us.
I haven't been on either. I haven't been on either. No, Earl.
I love Deep Six.
Justin.
Earl's in my orbit.
Yeah.
All hail Bigfoot at gmail.com. It's real easy to remember, folks.
Yeah. Is that really your email address?
Yep.
That's my email.
Oh, okay. Well,
it gets great reactions. I go, like you go to the doctor's offices, wherever you're going. What's your email? All hail Bigfoot. They start laughing and they look and they go, no, seriously. It's like, all hail Bigfoot. All one word.
Yeah.
I get a lot of reactions because I'm always wearing my Bigfoot stuff and with my email and it brings up a lot of conversations about Bigfoot. It's a good time.
Sure. I understand that. It's it's interesting because there's not a lot of people who cover that in any way at all. So you get some interesting responses when you bring that up with various people, and as you should, I guess. But it's fun to watch sometimes. But anyway, I guess now is as good a time as any to wrap this thing up, right?
What time, Justin? Because I've got a thing tomorrow with Missing Mod. And everybody be there tomorrow. We're going to talk about Dog Man with Missing Mod. We're going to have a lot of fun.
Well, let's start at the let's start at the bottom here with Ed. Then we'll go Dave, Ember, and Azo, I guess. And
I guess go screw yourself, Joe. I quit.
Plug whatever you want to plug. Say what you got to say. Everybody's linked in the description, by the way.
I'm going to plug some of yours, all right?
Yeah.
Both ends.
You better bring more than one piece of iron.
I can probably make 11. Hey, Justin, I could probably make 11. Drop me a link. allhailbigfoot@gmail.com.
All right.
Go ahead, Ed.
All right. I'm the Rabid Atheist, Ed Raby, and so always come over to my channel. I spend a lot of time discussing reactions to stuff, and then also I talk deconversion, those, helping people get through that process. So whenever I can, just relaying my experience. So I'm always down for that. So you're always welcome. So unless you decide to be a jerk,
you drop his link there, Joe.
Yeah, it's in the description.
Okay.
Yeah, but
everybody subscribe to everybody.
Yeah. Okay, so now I gotta get that's Rabbit. Come on. My internet issue.
Well, go ahead, Dave, while Azo's doing that.
Oh, I ain't got nothing to say. I'm shy.
I said Dave, damn it.
What Justin was saying, that I could stop by tomorrow. So I said, drop me a link in my email at allhailbigfoot@gmail.com.
Right on.
I don't know if that's why.
I'll be there, and then at 4:00,
Dave and Jimmy,
y'all come back around.
That's a lot of baritone.
Yeah, I know Bree is on in the morning too, but I know Bree will understand.
Yeah. Wear your headphones. Amber, what you got going on right now?
Chaos and confusion as per usual. I'm traveling tomorrow, so I'm gonna miss everybody's shows. My oldest is graduating hours and hours away, so that's tomorrow's adventure, but should be really cool. Sunday, I don't know for sure.
Yeah, congratulations on the graduation.
Yeah, super proud of them. They're just an amazing kid. It's Adrian, the same kid who was on my show for Trans Day of Visibility. Because they founded an LGBT club in their high school and continue to be a big advocate, and really dig it. But I will have some kind of show on Sunday. I'm not sure exactly what yet. It's a little bit up in the air. And then the next time you can catch me for sure is on a different channel called The Transpositions. We do a live show every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and then there's clips throughout the week. Obviously about trans issues, trans news, trans sports, all that sorts of stuff, the latest happenings, and you should definitely check it out.
You can always holler me at try that again. You can always holler at me, Ember, if you need somebody on a show.
Hell yeah.
Azo, what are you doing this week?
We may do a part 2 on that Hugh video, because there's it's like a turkey, right? We got the drumstick, we carved a little bit into the breast, but there's so much meat on those bones still. I know
you got me started again. Like I say, I was watching I watched 2 or 3 of his Genesis arguments, and man, I'm gonna have to take notes. There's just so many twists and turns in that.
What are you doing this week, Azo?
Yeah.
Whatever my boss tells me to do, boss.
Well, I mean, you could maybe mention something about trivia and
Wednesday night. Yeah.
That's all you.
When's that? Who does that?
I don't know.
Oh, some asshole.
You can join us here on this channel on Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern for trivia. We don't talk religion or really any other positions. It's just trivia. A chance to come and join a stream and unwind and have some fun and just answer questions and compete against each other. And Azo has been generous enough to provide gift cards every week to random people that we pick that join in and take part in trivia. But you have to be a subscriber for that. So that's the only condition. You be a subscriber and you show up.
There.
So come and take part in that. Otherwise, I guess the last thing I'll say is it was awesome having Tom on, and all you guys that's joined from Twitter and YouTube that are still here. I figured he would close those out when he left, but
don't forget your own big plugs on what you got coming up, Joe.
Oh, I haven't forgot.
Plug?
Maybe.
Whoa,
you guys
drum roll, please.
We're not there yet. Hold on.
I'm almost a punkster's stream, Adam and Eve.
It was great having Tom.
Where's Brentley?
yeah.
And
talk to him and rebook him again. He's supposed to have been on by now. Sorry.
Yeah.
Side note.
Brentley's a lot of fun too. Yeah.
He is.
We're working on that. We've got people booked way down the road. But anyway, I think Tom was a great person on the panel today, and I was surprised that so many of us weren't aware of him and the stuff that he does. And it's always great to meet people who are trying
that was interesting.
Good ideas in place of bad ideas, and that's really what it's all about. And we don't have to fight with each other or hate each other if we disagree. The best way to get through that is through discourse, honest discussions, where you're willing to listen to someone else. I mean, that's what you got to do, kind of, to normalize this thing and get the word out there that we're not going to just accept the bad ideas that are being put out there all the time. And I think atheism and the atheist community has a pretty bright future. I think that as we continue to come together and correct these bad ideas more and more, things will get better. And there's always a hard part before it gets better, and that may be what we're starting to see now. But we'll get there. We will. I believe that. I don't believe a lot of things, but I believe that. And anyway, coming up this week, Sunday, I'll be talking with Mark Stoney a bit about the Bible and misconceptions that he has told about hell. And Sunday, big show coming up. I'll have Matt Dillahunty on. We're going to talk about debate topics. I'm going to ask him a little bit about the problem of deception and why we don't hear more about that. And we're I'm not going to be able to help but ask him about snakes and stuff too. So if you're into that, what was that? Okay.
Sorry, people. All my notifications are going off. Must be that time of day.
Yeah. Well,
I'll turn it off, and then I won't turn it back on. And then somebody will call me, and my phone will be turned off, and then I'll turn it back on, and then I'll turn my.
I thought it was the Chinese that launched missiles. I'm getting ready to go to the bunker. I got to dig it, but I'm going to go there.
Matt's going to come on and talk with me and Robin and Azo. We've all got some things that we're gonna discuss, and I think it'll be a good discussion, and maybe not the one that maybe not what you expect to hear in a conversation with Matt, but still a good discussion. So catch that, and then following that, we've got an Egyptologist coming on to talk about ancient Egypt, and then Aaron Ra. And that's all coming up this next week. My channel's now been on for a year, so that's kind of what this is all about. We're going to give away shirts from the line when Matt visits. So all you got to do is be a subscriber and show up, and you get a chance to win a cool shirt, embossed shirt with Demon Matt on it, and show up for the Aaron show and win Aaron's books. So I think with that, that's all I got for you guys. And thank everybody for joining the panel. Everybody's link is in the description. Go check out those channels. These are my friends, and they host great channels. And that's it. Later, guys.
Yep.